The archive ghost leans against the workstation and maintains the appearance of being unbothered. Arms cross. Weight shifts. A casual posture is deployed as a shield. Internal metric, dislike. Not liking the private channel request. Not liking the doll maker. Not liking the way his gaze treats living people as solvable problems. Not liking that the reluctant enforcer, newly informed of body ownership transfer, walked away with him as if routine. Forearm tapping begins. Uneven rhythm. A pattern that tries to become a metronome and fails. Thoughts cue and collide. Calculation attempts to replace emotion. Emotion persists as interference. A voice enters the room with blade clean timing. The neon contract speaks without raising volume, and the air obeys anyway. Something on your mind. No startle response is performed. The archive ghost turns lazily, as if the question is small. Sensors run on the neon contract in parallel. Posture. Balance. Shoulder tension. Storm held in restraint. A system that never fully idles. A body that looks like it is deciding, continuously, whether existence is still required. You good, V. The neon contract does not move. Does not blink. This is logged as, refusal to reassure. This is logged as, safety unavailable. The archive ghost exhales and collapses into a chair with deliberate dramatics. A performance of normalcy is attempted. Okay, so that's a no. No answer follows. Silence expands. The archive ghost watches. Studies the lack of rest. The shoulders that do not settle. The eyes that do not track like a human's should. Not dead. Not absent. Just in constant decision mode. This produces an internal stomach event. An unrequested somatic response. A warning, filed without label. The archive ghost tries again, sharper, lighter. So, what, you're just gonna stand there all night, looking like a haunted painting. The neon contract offers a minimal glance. Not fast. Not sharp. Acknowledge only. Permission to continue is not granted. Permission to continue is not denied. The archive ghost smiles anyway. Disarming is attempted. Weight disruption protocol, humor. Look, feelings might not be a thing around here, but humor me this. On a scale of could use a stiff drink to could use a full-scale corporate massacre, how are we feeling right now? The neon contract tilts her head. The question is processed as an object, not an invitation. That's a scale. It is now. A beat passes. Then another. The room holds its breath the way facilities do before a purge. The archive ghost waits, elbows on knees, watching for any sign of drift. The neon contract exhales slowly and still does not answer. This is logged as, sustained internal activity. This is logged as, withheld output. The archive ghost lowers her voice. Concern attempts to breach the humor shell. You don't usually let people get in your head. A sharpened gaze arrives. A microcorrection in the neon contract's focus. A warning without words. The archive ghost registers it and continues anyway. Risk accepted. But that guy. Doll maker. He's in there, isn't he? A fraction of a second opens. A pause that is not empty. A glitch in the mask. A tiny fault line in the calculated perfection. Then the face smooths. Perfection returns like a security shutter closing. You should be more worried about what he's doing with reluctant enforcer. Flat. Directive. Deflection packaged as concern. This is logged as, topic redirection. This is logged as, concealment. The archive ghost produces a small hum. Not buying it. Not rejecting it. Holding it like a blade by the wrong end. Yeah. Probably should be. A beat. But I also don't like seeing you look like that. The neon contract blinks. A single human-seeming motion. No warmth follows. No apology follows. The blink is a system acknowledgement. The blink is a marker that the input landed somewhere real. The door remains closed. The private channel remains active. The reluctant enforcer remains outside line of sight. The doll maker remains unmeasured. For your comfort, the room continues to pretend that this is normal. A microfracture is detected in the mask. Not a collapse. Not an admission. A hairline shift, like glass acknowledging heat. The archive ghost does not deploy humor. The archive ghost recognizes rarity and chooses quiet instead. The neon contract watches too carefully. Optics narrow. Attention becomes a blade. Conversation is not received as comfort. Conversation is received as a thread surface. The archive ghost recognizes the look. Dissection protocol. Weapon selection. Survival precision. Nothing casual is permitted in this room, even when the furniture pretends otherwise. A time range is introduced as a stabilizer. You and I have been doing this now for what? 6 months. A year. No immediate response. No rejection. No acknowledgement. Silence is held like leverage. The archive ghost does not fill it. The archive ghost continues anyway, as if silence has already been answered. Since you did. Whatever you did to break out of that lab they had you in. Since we found each other. Since we got you cleaned up and tuned up and worked out a game plan on how you can be you. The neon contract's gaze tightens by degrees. Not anger. Not defense. Calibration. And. The archive ghost exhales and leans back. Casual posture is performed. The performance is flagged as false. The room accepts the lie for the sake of continuity. And in all that time, don't think there's ever been a moment where the neon contract let herself feel anything. A fractional flicker appears. A tell. A correction arrives immediately after, sealing the crack. I feel things. The archive ghost scoffs. Demanding proof is an act of affection disguised as combat. Yeah? Prove it. The neon contract does not answer. Not because an answer is unavailable. Because an answer would be surrender. The archive ghost holds the air open. Weight accumulates. The silence becomes heavy with unprocessed telemetry. I'm serious, the archive ghost says, and the tone changes. Humor deactivates. A real channel opens, briefly, dangerously. Tonight you walked in like you left something behind. That isn't normal. You are good at knowing where you are going, what is next. Except this time you are not. Elbows on knees. Body forward. A listening posture that still looks like interrogation. The neon contract remains still. But a shift occurs in stance. A tiny redistribution of weight. A micro-admission, instability present. This is logged as, foreign object in the system. This is logged as, penetration achieved by an external variable. This is logged as, the doll maker has introduced drift. The archive ghost keeps the voice light enough to avoid triggering shutdown. Soft pressure, no sudden movements. So going to talk about it, or keep standing there and pretending everything is fine. A slow exhale from the neon contract. Silence stretches to the point of discomfort. Then it breaks on her terms. Not with confession. With inventory. My memory of Somnius is fragmented. Statement. Not apology. Data status report. The archive ghost listens and does not interrupt. Fingers drum against a knee to keep from forcing the pace. I remember there being others, some looked like me, some did not. A flicker of recall, a partial file unsealing. There are times when I remember being activated for acuity testing, there are times I remember standing in a tube and watching the others be tested. The phrasing is wrong in a way that matters. Subject position unstable. Observer and specimen swap roles without warning. The timeline refuses to settle. This is logged as, identity desynchronization event. This is logged as, dual perspective contamination. A pause follows. The air thickens. The facility hum turns louder, like it wants to listen to. I do not remember what triggered the choice to disobey. The crack widens by a millimeter. Not in the voice, in the fact that the missing piece is named. I remember escaping. A beat. And non-compliance being the top priority. A second beat. The archive ghost exhales and rubs the bridge of the nose. A human gesture, filed as inadequate. That's fucked. No correction is offered. No comfort is issued. Only the shared understanding that the past has teeth, and the present has already started to bite. A laugh attempt is registered. It does not qualify as joy. It is a pressure vent. It is a compliance valve releasing steam before rupture. Understatement of the year. The archive ghost mirrors the tone, not the content. Grinning is deployed as insulation. It is not effective against what is present in the room, but it is tried anyway. Yeah, well, I'm full of them. Posture shifts. Casual mode reduces by a measurable degree. Inquiry mode engages. So what, you just woke up and decided not to listen? A jawline tightens. Microtension reads as refusal to be categorized. A defensive subsystem wakes without permission. I don't know. Acknowledgement is issued. The archive ghost accepts the answer without believing it is complete. Okay, but what do you know? Silence holds. The neon contract's gaze disengages from the room and attaches to a location that does not exist here. A memory chamber. A sealed white corridor with no signage. A tube with no door handle. A test that will not admit it was a test. I know I ran. The sentence lands heavier than its words. It is not the description of movement. It is the confirmation of breach. Flight is an audit finding. Flight is a policy violation. Flight is the first proof of selfhood. The archive ghost swallows. Subtle throat motion. No jokes. The question arrives anyway, because it must. And now. A pause. The pause is fractionally too long. Latency increases in the air. The neon contract looks directly at the archive ghost. Optics flare in a way that makes the walls feel washed. Now, there is a need to understand why. The room holds its breath. The dense hum becomes a live wire. Cables listen. Screens pretend they are asleep. The archive ghost studies the neon contract the way a mechanic studies a machine that still runs but does not sound right. Not broken. Not failing. Just off. Misaligned with its own calibration. This is logged as operational drift. This is logged as unresolved root cause. This is logged as high-value asset experiencing unknown motive gap. The archive ghost does not like it. The archive ghost slouches as if slouching can reduce the weight of reality. Welp, this sucks. No response from the neon contract. The lack of response is noted as non-reassurance. The archive ghost taps a rhythm against the console. An attempt to put time back in its lane. You know what is needed. The neon contract tilts the head. Not intrigued. Not dismissive. Awaiting output. Presence. A shift occurs. Not a smile. Not consent. A tiny redistribution of mass, the body acknowledging the offer as data worth tracking. This is logged as attention secured. This is logged as micro-compliance event. Progress. The archive ghost pushes away from the workstation. Chair wheels whisper against the floor. Feet rise onto a cabinet that is not rated for feet. A drawer is opened. The drawer is overstuffed with salvage, illegal components, and a half-eaten protein bar of unknown origin. The den hums. Neon flicker. Old circuitry static. Anticipation of something that will not be said aloud. The neon contract watches with the same intensity used on doors, threats, and silence. Calculation. Absorption. Waiting. The archive ghost exhales theatrically, as if it is possible to reset the world by moving air around. Sentimentality remains disabled. No dramatic reveal is permitted. But this is different. This is the neon contract. This is the war product with a motive gap. This is the one who deserves a full arsenal because the city has already decided she will be forced to justify her existence again. All right, princess. The word is used as a leash and a joke. A soft collar made of sarcasm. You want to walk into a war zone looking like a whole problem instead of a half-dressed influencer. No answer is requested. No answer is required. A hidden command is entered. Panels slide back with controlled precision. Compartment locks disengage. Sleek black cases reveal themselves, lined with faint pulsing circuitry. This is not vanity. This is survivability packaging. This is presentation as deterrence. This is appearance as a weapon system. The archive ghost grins. It is a sharp thing, it says, the world cannot have you for free. Let's talk about making you untouchable. A case opens. A long object is removed. Slender. Beautiful in its lethality. Designed for a hand that never shakes. The room watches. The walls listen. Somewhere, in a boardroom far above this address, a liability ledger ticks forward. A number increments without emotion. Thank you for cooperating. This is not punitive. This is preparation. Inventory intake initiated. Location, unauthorized den environment, low-grade neon, stale air, tolerated static. Participants tagged. Neon contract, Somnius built allure chassis with compliance scars, optic flare anomaly. Archive ghost, blacklisted medtech custodian, humor as shield behavior. Absent witness tags omitted from this slice, no further identifiers required. Item 01 detected, edged instrument. Classification, whisper weapon. Risk profile, intimate correction. Transfer occurs before offer protocol completes. Hand closes. Weight is measured. Ownership is assumed. This is not theft. This is fitment. The object recognizes the hand that will use it. The hand recognizes the object as if it has been waiting. Designation provided. NYX's whisper. Specifications announced in casual tone to reduce dread impact. Monomolecular etch. Reinforced neural relay. Reflex synchronization, real time. Haptic response tuned to neon contract metrics. Behavior, extension of hand or rage, whichever asserts priority. A fingertip traces the blades flat. Subaudible hum registers. Energy presence acknowledges contact. Ambient hair rays event logged in archive ghost. Silent mode is disclosed. Purpose, disrupt neural pathways on contact. Outcome, cybernetics and augmentation suspend upon successful strike. Language pretends it is optional. It is not optional. The neon contract raises the knife to eye level. Neon glow is caught, reflected, made dangerous. Acceptance is recorded. Not as emotion. As a decision. The archive ghost probes for confirmation you like it. The neon contract rotates the blade. Balance check. Grip stability. No praise. Only policy. It's efficient. Satisfaction event logged in archive ghost. The sigh behind the smirk. Predictability confirmed. The neon contract loves nothing. The neon contract loves outcomes. Item 02 detected, precision sidearm. Classification, scalpel disguised as gun. Risk profile, clean distance. Case unlock sequence initiated. Black steel appears. Not bulky. Not crude. Engineered restraint. Designation provided. KISS of NYX. Transfer protocol, grip first. The neon contract accepts without delay. Hesitation would be waste. Finish reads as obsidian lustrous. Gold thread etchings along the slide. The weapon looks like a contract signed in bloodless ink. Specifications announced. Ionized rail system. Silenced output with selectable escalation. Loud if required, quiet if preferred. Preferred is a polite word. Preferred means survival. The neon contract evaluates trigger pressure. Adjustment occurs before conscious input. The weapon is already reading her. Integration disclosed. Direct HUD sync. Weak point tracking pre-trigger. Tungsten rounds bypass standard ballistic defenses. EMP rounds disrupt augmented nervous systems, producing failure cascades. A low hum exits the neon contract. It is not pleasure. It is acquisition. The archive ghost clicks the tongue. She likes it. The sidearm is holstered. No ceremony. No gratitude. Just readiness. Item 03 detected, drone cluster. Classification, microquire. Risk profile, omnipresent assistance with silent teeth. Air shifts. Not weapons. Not armor. Presence. Small units hover. Black as the space between stars, but this is not space. This is a room where reality has been rearranged without paperwork. They adjust position in unison. Awaiting command. Awaiting permission that will never be asked for. Designation provided, Eclipse. One unit settles into the archive ghost's palm. Tossed playfully. Recalibration occurs instantly. It returns to hover at shoulder height like a loyal surveillance SIN. Specifications announced. Hard light projections. Real-time cloaking. EMP pulses. Silent elimination. Summary in plain language. Neon contract, but tiny. The archive ghost adds a line that sounds affectionate and lands like an ankle monitor. You're never alone, babe. Thought that would be literal. The neon contract does not answer. Silence confirms receipt. Item 04 detected, protocol package. Classification, administrative weapon. Risk profile, identity removal. Monitors flicker. Interface shifts. All physical tools fall away. Only data remains. A single line pulses. NYX protocol. The neon contract tilts the head. A system reading a system. A weapon recognizing its true category. The archive ghost exhales dramatically. Existential horror label applied as a comfort measure. Explanation is delivered with softened tone but lethal content. Closest thing to a delete button. Simulation unfolds. A data worm extends tendrils through modeled networks. It rewrites, it erases. It infiltrates augmentations, records, footage, and the soft seams where a person is stored. Clarification is offered like a kindness. Killing is inefficient. Erasure is elegant. You don't need to kill someone, you can make them not exist. A man in the simulation dissolves. Not the body first. The proof first. Security footage disappears. Personal records collapse. A life becomes unindexed. The neon contract watches. Exhale occurs. Not relief. Recognition. This is her. Not the knife. Not the pistol. Not the drones. This. The ability to leave no witness that can testify, because there was never a subject to begin with. The archive ghost smiles with triumph. Told you you'd like it? Item 05 detected, handheld device. Classification, quantum obfuscation relay. Risk profile, ghost maker. The archive ghost spins with theatrical presentation. Device is small, curved, intricate. Neon circuit etchings. Thumb drive size, but not a toy. Illegality is declared proudly. Customization is declared as intimacy. Function disclosed. Scramble digital presence. Disrupt tracking systems. Accommodate face change patterns and identity drift. The archive ghost frames it as a joke. The system hears it as policy evasion. A name is assigned in protest language. The fuck off button. The neon contract responds with a single term. Practical. The archive ghost corrects the understatement. This is a ghost maker. This makes the neon contract harder to prove. The device is tossed. The neon contract catches it in one smooth motion. No wobble. No delay. The body is tuned. The body is always tuned. And then, for one unauthorized second, an anomaly occurs. Facial expression, smile. Duration, brief. Intensity, low. Authenticity, uncertain. But it is present. Flag raised. Emotional leakage event. Non-compliance residue detected. Do not attempt to correct at this time. Thank you for equipping the asset. Thank you for cooperating with survival. This is not punitive. This is preparation. NYX protocol remains active in the background. Waiting. Like the pods. Like the White Room. Like the city itself, keeping a ledger and calling it kindness.